Greetings once again, all you Sonic superstars out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with IDW Sonic the Hedgehog. Now previously, we've entered in a very interesting situation, where during a training exercise, Silver found himself losing control of his ability and almost hurting the Diamond Cutters. Whisper says she saw the newest teammate duo, that we know is Mimic, trip him. So when the two of them confront Duo over this, Lanolin comes in to put a stop to it, feeling as though they have no proof to accuse someone. And while this may be true, many in the fan community feel as though Lanolin is in the wrong for not trusting those with more experience than her in situations like this. We'll see how that comes to a head later down the line, as when Silver goes after Duo, Mimic decides to take a fall, making it look as though Silver purposely injured an innocent young person. This creates a major problem for Silver, as Jewel has to take charge, and the Diamond Cutters are put in a rough position, where they have to vote whether or not Silver stays helping them out, or even at the restoration in general. Lanolin naturally votes that he should leave. Whisper feels as though she led Silver astray with her own paranoia, and Tangle, caught in the middle, ultimately decides that Silver should go. And you know that's a tough situation for Tangle. Silver feels lost. But when Sonic and Blaze come back from their globe-trotting adventure, Silver and Blaze connect, as they usually do, with Blaze also searching for a sense of purpose and meaning outside of what she usually does. She and Silver set out to find themselves, more or less, leaving Mimic still at Restoration HQ, still undercover, and still ready to bring the house down at a moment's notice. The tension ramps up a little bit, knowing that he could hurt anyone at any time. When will he make his move? Is a good question, as we shift things over to Knuckles and the Chaotix, and the memory that Blaze, last time she was on Angel Island, as well as Amy, talked to Knuckles about opening up a little bit more, getting people to actually help him from time to time, and maybe he'll need it when he faces the Babylon Rogues. Join me in finding out what happens next, won't you? Honestly, I'm still taken off guard that we're shifting gears, and the idea that Knuckles teaming up with the Chaotix being like, huh, I didn't see that coming. As someone who used to read the Archie comics back in the day, it just, as well as the fact that we don't acknowledge Knuckles' Chaotix as ever happening. That's a bit of a bummer too. Alright, so we have two stories here. Relic Robbing Rumble Part 1, story by Ian Flynn, pencils by Mario Fonseca, or Mero Fonseca, inks by Rick Mack, colors by Reggie Graham, the man. And then the second story is Dinner at Cream's, Part 1, with a story by Evan Stanley, art by Adam Bryce Thomas, ooh yeah, colors by Valentina Pinto, letters by Sean Lee, editor David Marriott, and production Johanna Natali. And I do kind of like the return to A and B plot, run simultaneously in a story. Helps to kind of make things a little bit more dynamic. So Ian and Evan kind of double teaming the stories is actually kind of fun. Though still have my fingers crossed for a spin-off book that runs simultaneously and consistently. Alright, let's get the rundown on the players. Knuckles the Echidna, Guardian of the Master Emerald, Angel Island's Protector. The Babylon Rogues, Legendary Thieves, Mercenaries for Hire. Team Chaotix, Ace Detectives, Chaotix Detective Agency. Cream the Rabbit, Compassionate Heroine, The Cutest Thing Alive. Cheese and Chocola, Excitable Chow, Tiny Sidekick. Vanilla the Rabbit, Loving Mother, Restoration Ally. It's interesting that we specify that she's an ally of the Restoration. Gemerald, Reformed Robot, Cream's Protector. Alright, we just jump right into it. Opening up in Marble Garden on Angel Island, Knuckles shouts, "The Babylon Rogues!" And as he goes flying in, oh, these are the same ruins in the Amy story. We had just put that relic that Rouge took back. He goes flying in, saying, I knew I saw something flying overhead. As Jet and Wave are taking 2 relics, Jet says, oh great, Storm, sick 'em. And Storm cracks his knuckles, saying, with pleasure, boss. And as Storm goes racing in against Knuckles, Knuckles delivers a mighty uppercut. Ooh, that's a nice shot. As Knuckles is mid-air, and just as Storm is kind of knocked off his board, he manages to grab Knuckles by the leg, swings him around, and slams him into the side of the canyon wall. Or the cave wall, I should say. Storm manages to land on his board, just as Jet and Wave come in right next to him. Wave says, nice form. As Storm says, he ain't so tough. Man, Storm getting one over on Knuckles. We do forget that they're pretty good match and do have a tendency to one-up each other from time to time. Ooh, man, I am loving the art here as Knuckles peels himself off of the wall. He is incensed, rage filling his face as he jumps off the wall and goes racing after them, fury and fire in his fist. We then hear Knuckles' narration. I guess he's talking to someone, maybe the Chaotix, saying, it wasn't hard to catch up to them on the way down, and I nearly had them, as we see Knuckles falling behind the rogues. But they managed to shake him as they race through the crystalline cavern. Yeah, their maneuverability is way too good. Knuckles gliding it ain't it, baby. See, the question of why would Sonic use Extreme Gear is like, because Sonic can't normally fly. And Extreme Gear just has really good maneuverability. It's why I kind of wish they would make another Sonic Riders game. Like, basing the success of a friggin' Sonic Free Riders, which, no, just should have made that a normal Sonic Riders game. The Sonic Riders games were fun. But Knuckles says, but I can't glide as fast as their Extreme Gear fly. They got away. Oh, we pick up with Knuckles talking with the Chaotix at the Chaotix Detective Agency in Seaside City. He tells them, I have no idea how to track them down, so I'm gonna need your help. Charmy is flying up above, saying, I like that story. Super exciting. Meow. Knuckles then asks, how did they even know about those relics? Vector shuffles some paper saying, the Babylon Rogues are professional thieves and specialize in ancient artifacts. Your island is full of stuff like that. It only makes sense they'd try to rob you. Knuckles then asks, why not anything else? There are more precious treasures on the island. Espio questions, perhaps they thought those relics would be less guarded, or perhaps they have a buyer with specific taste. I do love when they start to kind of map things out, because despite the fact that they were supposed to be portrayed as down on their luck, even in their introduction, it was like, no, these guys are fair bit competent and able. Charmy goes over to the phone saying, I'll call Amy and get her to help too. You said she brought you the one relic, so I'm sure she'll also want to get it back. Knuckles then proceeds to karate chop the phone, shouting, no, we can't tell Amy. Espio gives him the side eye saying, is maintaining your warrior's pride really that important? And Knuckles immediately says, yes, with a sneer. That's a little bit sad, but then again, it feels more like he just got that. It would really suck to tell Amy, hey, I lost the thing you just gave me that we just talked about, me potentially needing more help from time to time, this, that, and the other. There's levels to this. Vector then hastily flips through what looks like a day planner as he says, enough chit-chat. You know our motto, boys. We never turns down work that pays. So let's close the case in record time. As he points to the fact that he's supposed to have dinner at Vanilla's sometime today? It doesn't really give a date or time, so I have to assume it's today. Also, how is Knuckles paying them? Oh, okay. What a weird place to pick up. We pick up at Egg Base Delta, where Knuckles and the Chaotix are running the ones with the badniks. Vector shouts, let him have it, boys. We'll get his attention in no time. Really? Seeing if Eggman's the first culprit. Interesting. Charmy rides on the back of a buzz bomber saying, yeah, give up the goods, you bad guys. Vector slams down an egg pawn while Knuckles literally knocks the head off another one as Espio kicks it. Oh, Eggman's an image of Eggman shows up in the little monitor device from Shadow the Hedgehog. And Eggman says, "What are you barbarians doing? You've already ruined all my recent plans. I haven't had time to start up a new scheme. What more do you want?" I love Knuckles and the Chaotix just pausing mid-beatdown with the Badniks. Knuckles shouts, "I want my relics back." Eggman questions, "What are you talking about?" Knuckles shouts, "You can't trick me, Eggman. Vector figured out you hired the Babylon Rogues to steal them back." The monitor flies over to Vector saying, Of all these buffoons, I thought you were supposed to be the smart one." Vector tugs at his chain nervously saying, "Look, I'm on a tight deadline here. You're usually at fault, so..." Eggman sits back saying, "I take whatever I want whenever I want. I don't personally keep track of every little thing I procure in my conquest. I have my robots catalog and manage it all." Knuckles says, "The one relic was found in Eggperial City. I know you took it." Eggman says, "Fine, but why would I make an effort to hire the Babylon Rogues when I could just send my robots?" That's a lame explanation. Well, true that on most occasions, Eggman will send his robots. When he wants to throw people off the trail, he hires someone. Just like in Sonic Superstars where he hires Fang. I had to keep track of what name to call him. Did this relic have any special value or any arcane or mystic powers? Knuckles pouts and says, "That historic and sentimental value." Eggman facepalms saying, "Oh, for the love of... I don't know about it. I don't care about it. Now get out, you moron!" Knuckles walks off with the Chaotix in tow, who look a bit embarrassed, as Knuckles says, "Okay, so we made a mistake, but I'm strong enough to admit it." Oh, it's good that you admit this one. Don't always admit to most of the other ones. We cut over to Seaside City, where Knuckles and Vector are chilling at a cafe. Vector sinks his head down low, saying, "What an embarrassment." Knuckles pounds on the table, saying, "I'll say, but what's done is done. Now focus. Who took my stuff?" Vector thinks, saying, "The list of suspects is short. Maybe Clutch is looking to sell them all." Knuckles pauses as he's about to take a bite of his, I don't know, ice cream whatever. It's got grapes in it, so he loves grapes. Knuckles pauses, saying, "Clutch? Who's that?" Of course. This is a situation where I enjoy that we have multiple villains out there. Because when it's always Eggman, then it's just like, I don't know, it just ends up being the same story over and over again. Vector explains, "A criminal and con man. Me and the boys managed to ruin his fun in Central City." Honestly, I thought Clutch and the Chaotix would have a run-in long before things happened the way they have happened with him hiring Mimic. Vector explains, picking up his tiny little cappuccino, saying, "But we lost his trail and haven't heard a peep about him since. So if he did switch from peddling egg tech to illegal artifacts, he's kept it on the down low. I wouldn't know where to start looking for him." Knuckles pounds on the table again, saying, "Why does everything have to be so complicated? We should be able to find the bad guys and smash them and be done with it." Yeah, Knuckles is a little too straightforward for something like this. Charmy comes flying in, slamming on the table, causing Knuckles' great parfait thingy to go flying as he says, "We got a lead, we got a lead." And then Espio just shows up, causing Vector to spit out his drink as Knuckles is sent flying backwards, as he says, "We've learned where the Babylon Rogues will be making their handoff of the goods." Vector eyes Espio, saying, "I told you to quit surprising me like that." Espio looks away with a wry smile, saying, "And I told you to turn down your headphones and mind your surroundings." Charmy stands on the table with a triumphant smile, saying, "I heard some sketchy-looking guys gossiping. I pointed it out to Espio." Espio says, "Yes, it was all very convenient." Ooh, he suspects something. But Knuckles is already racing off, saying, "It's the only lead we have. I'm gonna follow it." We then pick up with the Rogues down by, the docks? While Storm and Wave are chilling while sitting down, Jet is pacing back and forth, saying, "Where is this guy? I want to get moving already." Wave tells him, "And I want to enjoy a peaceful evening. Can one of us get what they want?" Meanwhile, Storm is playing with the relics, saying, "Come on, Stevie, let's go rob the market. Nah, Nigel, I robbed it yesterday. Jet then comes in, spitting. Quit messing with the relic, Storm. Storm hides him behind his back, saying, sorry, boss. Wave then cheekily asks, huh, showing a little bit of cultural sensitivity? But Jet dismisses it, saying, huh? I just don't want them busted and devalued before we could sell them off. Wave looks away a little bit annoyed. Jet tells Wave if they were Babylonian, it'd be a different story. I wouldn't want to bust up our ancestors' stuff. With the I love that Storm is still playing with them, but none of them are any the wiser as we see Knuckles and the Chaotix lurking in the shadow of a nearby alley as Knuckles tells them, there they are. On my mark, we take them down. 3, 2, 1. To be continued. I love this story. I loved how tight the pacing was for this. Sometimes the stories feel like there's too much to contain in something, but this one, I love the way it was paced, and it ended at a good spot. It leaves the intrigue of who are they meeting? Who's behind it? I mean, if it's not Eggman, but it's entirely possible Eggman was misleading Knuckles and the Chaotix. He does that. It could be Clutch, but then again, like Vector said, it doesn't make sense because he's usually into egg tech stuff. It'd be kind of hilarious if it was actually Rouge, but then she's more about the thrill of the hunt herself. It is intriguing. Who is behind this? I'll be interested to find out next time. But we still have another story left to check out. Oof, that Adam Bryce Thomas art. Not to say that Fonseca's art isn't good. There's just a certain kind of depth to what Adam Bryce Thomas does. We pick up at Cream and Vanilla's house, where Cream is putting some frosting on a cake, Cheese is rolling out the dishes, Vanilla is cooking what looks to be rice, and Chocola is eyeing some treat. Cream says, this is going to be the best dinner party ever. That's cool, so we have two slowly converging storylines. Oh, I didn't even notice General there for some reason. Oh my god, he's right there. But he's not doing anything. I didn't even notice he was there. That is so weird. Vanilla says, I do think we've outdone ourselves. Man, Cream's expression as she sees Chocola making off with a treat. She says, Chocola, no! Although I think she kind of messes up the frosting on the cake she was doing in the process. I love Chocola just making off with the treat, saying, ciao! Vanilla then reaches into the refrigerator saying, you know that we have to wait until Mr. Vector, Mr. Espio, and Charmy get here. Don't worry, Chocola. They'll be here any minute. Uh-oh. I think she was getting some butter, but it looks like they're all out. Who puts an empty thing for the butter back when you don't have any? Like, come on. House rules. Never put the empty container back in the refrigerator. Also, I love Vanilla's expression when she realizes this. Like, dang. Honestly, between both artists for this issue, the expressions have been on point. Colors, as always, immaculate. Cream asks, what's wrong? Vanilla laments, we've run out of butter. I love Cheese giving Chocola the side eye as he's downing some treats. Just like, you little jerk, you actually want to help out? As he's setting the table, Vanilla says, I could have sworn there was at least another stick left. What a headache. I can't finish the sauce without it. General questions. I will procure more. How many pounds do you require? No. Any pounds of butter? No. That's a waste of good butter. Nobody needs that much butter. Oh my god. Vanilla makes her way out and, dude. Adam Bryce Thomas, dude. This shot of Vanilla is so beautiful. We don't get full body shots of Vanilla like this normally. And I love that she goes out with her basket and birds immediately landing on her hands and stuff like that. And she says, thank you, but that won't be necessary. I'll just dart out to get some. Won't be a minute. Please keep an eye on the stove, Cream, and don't forget about the roast. Cream and Cheese wave her off with Cream saying, yes, mother. And I love that she's skipping down the side of the roads. singing a sweet song. But in the bushes, we see a very familiar couple of silhouettes. Of course, it's Rough and Tumble, sneaking about in the bush. Tumble says, "Finally, that old lady's gone." And he and Ruff both say, "And that means nobody's home." Geez, the art on the two of them makes them look so menacing. Ruff says, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." Hold on. We've got to do this right, bro. That's weird. That feels like that should have been two separate lines instead of just Ruff saying it. We have a bit of a montage of them getting beat by the Chaotix and slinking off with Clutch admonishing them sneaking around in the shadows. Tumble says, We have been tough." Ruff says, "We've faltered, we've stumbled." Tumble says, "But we're back in this town." Ruff says, "We'll fear Ruff and Tumble." Tumble lifts the window to the Cream and Vanilla's house. Meanwhile, Cream gets up on a stepladder next to the stove watching the pot. She says, "All right, Cheese, I have to do this right and show Mother that she can trust me with important job. I won't let anything burn or drop a dish or forget anything. It has to be perfect." General comes up next to her saying, "Well, perfection is an unrealistic goal. I have observed your performance throughout many adventures. You have already proven that you are worthy of the responsibility assigned to you. Based on my analysis, you have got this," he says as he pets Cream on the head. Aw. Cream and Cheese stir the pot saying, "Well, you're right. While I take care of the food, can you set the table in the dining room, please?" General takes the dishes saying, "Affirmative." As he enters the dining room, he says, "They will be arranged with mathematical precision." He stops mid-sentence as he notices Ruff and Tumble just entering the house. I love how Tumble's hair is just like at the roof. Tumble says, "Not even locked." Ruff says, "What a bunch of rubes. It's like they want to get robbed. This might be to eat." Wait, is that? The two of them spot General. Tumble says, "Some kind of butler robot?" Ruff says, "Doesn't look too tough to me. Think we can take him?" General sets down the plates. Ooh, and he immediately flies into action against them. Cream hears a commotion coming from the dining room. She calls out, "Is everything all right, General?" She leaps down from the steps ladder saying, "I'll just take a peek to make sure everything's fine. But what if something burns? Cheese can... No, they're busy." She calls out to Chicola, which startles Chicola, who's all up in the rolls. I love that Chicola's a little brat. Cream says, "Can you please check on General? I think something's wrong." Chicola gives a mighty salute, "Chow!" and rushes down the hallway, peeking into the dining room, utterly shocked to see General mixing it up with Ruff and Tumble. General dodges one of Tumble's strikes as Ruff, who is up on the table, says, "This'll fix ya. Get ready for a stink bomber attack." But before Ruff can go into action, General grabs Ruff by the tail while simultaneously whirling him around while kicking Tumble in the back. General says, "I predict that you are preparing an imminent and odor-based technique. While this will have no effect on my operation, I will show no mercy if you ruin the carpet." Chicola panics and goes racing back down the corridor, right into Cream's arms, much to her shock. Ruff, Tumble, and General hear the cries from the kitchen. Tumble says, "There's somebody else here? Just our luck." Ruff says, "Let's grab him." And as the three go racing towards the kitchen, Ruff says, "A hostage will get this crazy bot off our backs." General calls out, "Do not touch her," as Ruff slides into the kitchen saying, "There you are." Cream panics, bumping into one of the pots. The pan. And as General and Tumble grapple, General says, "Do not," while Tumble says, "Out of the way, butler bot." Some of the oil from one of the pans that Cream knocked over leaks over into the flames, causing a massive whoosh of flames on the stove as Cream and Cheese look on in horror. Next time, can the Chaotix make it to dinner on time? And will they want to? Again, an absolutely delightful story, and using Ruff and Tumble for a very low-stakes Cream and Cheese adventure, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I love both of these stories, honestly. Like, Ian, Evan, great work. Like, if you've seen my criticisms of the Halloween special, I don't know, it kind of lost steam as the story went along, despite the fact that a very general premise. It's just like, it doesn't quite have that snap to it. But while these stories haven't finished just yet, there's a little bit more punch and fun to it. Interesting character interactions and all that. I guess it just helps that the adversaries are very interesting. The Halloween story had a bunch of kids involved and stuff like that. I won't give away any spoilers, but the adversaries in that just weren't that interesting. Once you got to who the main enemy was, it was like, you kinda losing me. But here, Knuckles and the Chaotix versus the Babylon Rogues, Cream Cheese and General versus Rough and Tumble? I don't know, I kinda really like it. And I am glad that we're giving some love to the Chaotix, because they haven't really been in much lately, although with them having the Halloween special and now this, like, I don't know, some good love to the Chaotix. As well as, again, a cream and cheese story. Yes, it's a bit of a nice palate cleanser, all things considered. Because sometimes stepping away from Sonic, I don't know, it's not that I hate having Sonic stories, it's just that, hey, there's other characters out there besides Sonic, and I love and appreciate them all. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What is your favorite story here? Knuckles and the Chaotix versus the Babylon Rogues? Or Cream Cheese in General versus Rough and Tumble? Oh no, Rough and Tumbles are like my favorite band of mooks. And having the lesser enemies take on the other heroes out there is a good way of just establishing Sonic's world. It doesn't all revolve around the blue blur. And when it's a low-stakes adventure, it doesn't feel like he's wasting his time on something that's a little below his pay grade, as it were. Although, with some of the adventures that Knuckles, the Chaotix, Cream and Cheese, General have been on, it's just like, even they're kind of above some of these situations, but they're complicated enough that it's just like, okay, you're interested to see where this is gonna go. At least I am. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.